I'm going to talk about the Uvalde school shooting police response timeline because there are questions. This comes from the Texas Tribune. It was published on May 27th. It states, details of how a gunman was able to enter Robb Elementary School in Uvalde and kill 19 students and 2 teachers over the course of an hour have come out in parcels over the last few days. Governor Greg Abbott and the Texas Department of Public Safety officials have walked back some of their initial statements about the shooting and the authorities' response to the call after contradictory information came to light. Authorities first stated that the officers engaged with the gunman before he entered the school. They later corrected themselves and said he went inside unopposed. Well, first of all, why is somebody able just to walk into a school and not be questioned? Or they should have people looking out. They should have people, or those doors shut and locked. From what I understand, the door was propped open. It says details of how long it took for officers to re-enter the school after their first confrontation with the shooter, about 1 hour and 15 minutes, have also sparked widespread outrage and criticism. And here is a timeline of that event. May 24, 2022, the day of the shooting. The shooter sends private Facebook messages to a girl in Germany he met online and tells her about his plans to shoot his grandmother. The gunman shoots his grandma in the face, who then calls police. The shooter steals his grandmother's vehicle and drives from his home to Robb Elementary School, which is about a 2-mile drive. They should have been on him right then. 11:28 a.m., shooter arrives at school. The shooter crashes the vehicle in a ditch near the school. He fires his gun at 2 male witnesses who began approaching the crash from a nearby funeral home. The witnesses flee and call 911. That's call number 2 to the authorities that this guy is dangerous and he has a gun. And that was 28 minutes after the first call around 11 a.m. from his grandmother. 11:30 a.m., a teacher calls 911. A teacher at the elementary school makes a 911 call reporting the crash and seeing the shooter, noting he has a gun. The shooter walks towards the school, climbs the fence into the parking lot, and shoots at the school several times. That's call number 3 to 911. They know the area that he's in at this time. 11:31 a.m., the shooter reaches the last row of vehicles in the school parking lot, firing his rifle throughout. Police arrive at the funeral home. The school district police officer speeds in the direction of a person they think is the man with the gun reported by the teacher, but drives past the gunman and heads to the back of the school, mistaking a teacher for the shooter. 11:33 a.m., shooter enters the school. The shooter enters the school through a back door which the teacher had propped open. He shoots at least 100 rounds into classrooms 111 and 112, which are connected. 11:35 a.m., Uvalde police enter the school. 3 Uvalde police officers rush to the same door that the gunman used to enter, which was closed. They enter and received grazing wounds from the gunman, so they retreat. Later, 4 officers, including a deputy with the Uvalde County Sheriff's Office, enter the school. 11:37 a.m., just 2 minutes later, the gunman fires 16 more rounds. 11:43 a.m., Robb Elementary announces on Facebook that it is under a lockdown status due to gunshots in the area. The students and staff are safe in the building. The building is secure in a lockdown status, school officials say in the announcement. So they didn't realize that the shooting was taking place inside the school where they're all at. That does not make sense to me. At the same time, Uvalde Police Department posts on Facebook, large police presence at Robb Elementary. We ask the public to avoid the area. At 11:44 a.m., police with the city of Uvalde and the local school district are inside the school. They hear gunfire, are shot at, and move back to get cover. Initial officers are there and receive gunfire, therefore do not make entry. Officers call everyone in the area for additional resources, tactical teams, equipment, specialty equipment, body armor, precision riflemen, and negotiators. They are evacuating students and teachers during this time. Victor Escalon, a DPS official, said during the press conference on May 26. 11:51 a.m. More police arrive. 11:54 a.m. Onlookers start filming. 21 minutes after the shooter enters the school, an onlooker, Angel Ledesma, I can't pronounce that name, streams a live video showing parents begging the police to enter the school. So they're just standing around while these babies are getting shot. 12:03 a.m. Police continue to arrive and a student calls 911 from the inside. A student calls 911 from room 112 for a minute and 23 seconds and identifies herself in a whisper. Meanwhile, as many as 19 officers are positioned in the school's hallway. 12:10. The student calls 911 again and says multiple people are dead. 12:13. The student calls 911 a third time. Authorities have not expanded on her comments during this call. 12:15. Border Patrol tactical unit members carrying shields arrive. 12:16. The student calls 911 again, saying 8 or 9 students are alive. 12:17. School announces active shooter on campus. Robb Elementary officials announce on Facebook that there is an active shooter on campus. That I just can't. 12:19. Another student calls 911. A student in room 111 calls 911 and hangs up when another student tells her to. 12:21. Gunman fires again. Authorities say he was believed to be at the classroom's door. On a 911 call from a student, 3 gunshots can be heard, and these people are dilly-dallying out in the hallway. 12:36. Student in room 111 calls back for 21 seconds and is told to stay on the line quietly. 12:43. Gunman shoots the door. The student tells 911 that the gunman shot the door. 12:46. Student called 911. I can hear the police next door. 12:47. Student called 911. Please send the police now. Finally, at 12:50 p.m., Border Patrol kills gunman. Shots are heard on the student's call. A Border Patrol tactical unit officer breaches the room using a janitor's keys and kills the gunman. Then at 12:51, children are moved out of the room. And at 1:06 p.m., police announce shooter is in custody. What took them so long? And it's not like they didn't have the training, because they had just gone through an active shooter training course a couple of weeks prior. And it's been said that the chief was treating this as a barricaded person case, not an active shooter. So where does the fault lie? Does it lie, was the chief giving wrong orders to the officers and that's why they held back? But when does it come to, you knowing that the orders that you're being given is wrong? So do you just act out on your own and go fight this and defy the orders that you're given? Where does the line cross? And what would happen if you did do your own thing and go in even though you've been ordered to stand down? If it's the police chief giving these orders, then it needs to lie on him, because technically the officers were doing what they were ordered to do. But I don't know. I mean, children are in there and children are getting hurt. And the whole time that they stood out in that hallway, they could have been, in there and applying emergency services to children, and they may have been able to save some of them. This is really a hard one. Does it lie with the police chief who's giving the orders, or whoever it is that's giving these orders, or does it lie with the officers that are standing around in the hallway hearing the gunshots, I'm sure they heard screams, I'm sure they heard everything from that was going on inside those two classrooms, but they stood back. This is really, really a tough one, and it's just a sad situation all around.